underneath this card if you want to get it after this presentation. That's fine. All right, Mr. Rastelli is here with the king of all steaks. You might think I'm thinking of fillets. No, the sirloin, because it's the most versatile steak.
It is by far the most versatile steak, David. It has no fat at all in it, and you can see the moisture that's in this steak. Now, we do something very special with this. Now, it's Black Angus, right? So we know it's been aged for at least 28 days, wet aged, and of course, being Black Angus, that means they've come from small family farms that I've been working with. But David, we go a step further. We take our beautiful Steakhouse Marinated that you've enjoyed in our seasoning, and we actually marinate it into the steak.
Let me tell you what's in that marinade. It's garlic, onions, spices, salt, and pepper.
That's correct.
Now, this is a whole sirloin steak. They're individually packaged, and that marinade is inside. Now, it's massaged in before it's frozen, so you're going to have a great flavor, and then as this thaws, even more absorption takes place.
That's right. And what you're going to notice about the sirloin steak is there's no fat. This isn't the kind of sirloin steak you'd buy at a supermarket, because you can't buy these at a supermarket. This is the kind of sirloin steak that you would get at a great steakhouse, where you get nothing but meat. There's no fat, there's no gristle.
Now that one's medium rare.
Yes.
If you like yours a little more done, then cook it a little more done. But because you're not going to sacrifice the juiciness.
That's right. Here's one that's a little bit more done, but even being done, I want to show you how juicy this is, because again, we've taken that marinade, that Steakhouse marinade, and look at
That's more like a medium.
Yeah, that's more medium versus that medium rare. But look at the moisture that's in there. And remember, the sirloin steak is one of the leanest steaks you can get. So you're not going to bite in any gristle or any fat, but because of that marinade, David, you get that moisture.
You like to say everything is super trimmed at Rastelli.
That's the best word we use.
Super trimmed, 2 words that you want with all of your food, because that means all the fat and all the things that cause it to be tough are all cut away.
That's exactly right. Now here's a, you know what, David? Here's a perfect, this is the perfect medium. Look at that. Look at that moisture that's in there, right? That's because
that's my kind of steak.
That's
right
your
there.
kind of steak. And I know the nice part about it being Black Angus is these are small family farms that I have worked with for over 45 years.
And the flavor,
David.
Mr. R, is already there.
It's
so
already
you don't have to
there.
worry. I mean, there's already garlic, onion, spices, salt, and pepper inside this.
That's right.
So when you grill this up, it's going to already be flavorful. And may I? Mm-hmm. First of all, it's like butter. It melts in your mouth. And the flavor is lovely.
It is. It's a wonderful, it's a real steakhouse flavor, right? You go to a great steakhouse and you want a steak that's not just moist and juicy, but has no fat. This has the flavoring inside. Now, not just on the outside. It's through and through on each of these steaks.
Because that steak absorbs all of that steakhouse marinade.
That's exactly
Not only
right.
before it's frozen, because remember, as I said, it was massaged. But then, as it thaws, it draws even more of the marinade.
It does. It takes you right in. And I want to bring you to the butcher block because I want you to see what our sirloin steaks look like. And the reason I say our sirloin steaks, because this is not a sirloin steak you'd get at a supermarket. You know, the sirloin steaks you get at a supermarket have 3 different pieces. They've got fat on the outside. They've got muscles and tendons. It's just something when you come home, it's not very appetizing. This is what we give to the greatest steakhouse. As you can see, it's completely trimmed. We've taken every ounce of fat off of it, every ounce of gristle off of it, and then we age it for 28 days. And then we cut these beautiful steaks. Now, once we cut these beautiful steaks, David, we then take that marinade and we massage that marinade into the steak. Now, what that does, it opens up the steak, it lets the marinade get right inside of that steak, and that's really what gives you the flavor all the way through.
And then you freeze it.
And then we freeze it.
And then the best way to prepare this is let it thaw first.
Let it thaw first.
And during the thawing process, it draws in even more of the marinade.
That's right.
So it draws in more of the flavor. I'll invite you to come back over here. Now, you're getting 8 6-ounces, and there's no auto delivery on this. And we can't get any more, so it's important for you to go ahead and stock up. How long are these good in the freezer?
These are going to be good in your freezer for 12 months, and as you had shown, David, this is a vacuum seal. Now, what's a vacuum seal does? Well, locks in all the freshness, keeps out all the bacteria. So when you get this at home, and you can see how big this is, right? This is going to go right into your freezer because it's going to come frozen. For 12 months, this will last in your freezer.
Now, if you've never ordered food from QVC or from Rastelli particularly, and it comes to your house, there may be little or no dry ice left. As long as it's cold to the touch.
That's right.
It's fine to go into your freezer. Even if it's a little flexible. As long as it's cold to the touch, it's fine to go right into the freezer. This is going to be perfect if you want to shred this up and use it as taco meat, or if you want to put chunks in your chili.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if you're doing that, then invite us. We'll help you eat it.
Yes.
Also, maybe it's steak and mashed potatoes and vegetables on a plate. Whatever the case, remember the flavor is inside. You won't need to season these.
That's right. And you can see,
Just
David,
cook 'em.
I actually cut these on a salad. And I want you to see, I cut the pieces all the way through because what you're not going to notice is any fat. You're going to notice there's no gristle at all. So on a steak, on a salad, I should say, it's actually wonderful because every single bite, just like the bite you took, David, is going to be juicy. It's going to be tender.
I might have taken another bite while you were over at the butcher block.
And this is that steak that you hear me call all the time the everything steak, because whether it's on a salad, whether it's in your taco, whether it's on a quesadilla, how about a kebab? Think about just taking that steak and cutting that into nice, beautiful squares to be able to make a kebab. But I want you to see this steak it's been sitting out here for about 5-6 minutes or so. Look at the moisture that's in that steak.
Oh my heavens.
Right?
Now, why is it important, sir, that this is grass-fed and corn-finished?
So grass-fed is the natural raising process of our cattle, and that's very important. Think about cattle that are out in open pastures that are grazing on natural grasses, clean waters, and these are ranchers that I've been working with for, David, 48 years now, right? Long time, right? But then, of course,
as many years as you've been a butcher.
Yeah, exactly. But then, of course, we finish them on grain, a high moisture corn diet. And why? Because that gives you the marbling. And that marbling is where all the flavor is inside of that steak. So you've got the best of both worlds. You've got that natural grasses. And then finally, that grain finish gives you that tenderness, the juiciness, and that beautiful marbling inside the steak.
Well, and you also have the Steakhouse Marinade.
Yes.
So that's going to get a great flavor. And you won't need to season these when you cook them. Whether you cook them on a grill or you throw them into your skillet. What I love to do with steak is put a little butter and garlic in the pan. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and there's garlic inside there, so little butter never hurts anything.
Well,
right?
a little extra garlic. Not a problem either.
Yes.
I mean, no vampires are going to chase me home. This is really lovely product. And how many of these left, Mike, now to go around? Now 1,300 remain. Now, what is a one-time only value? Only good for the show in which it's presented. So at $7.59, right before I joined Valerie Parr Hill, this price will go away. You want to get yours now while you can, because remember, it's a one-time only value price, and there is no auto delivery. So stock up as many of these as you think you'll need, because remember, they're good for a year in your freezer.
They are. And again, when you start with Black Angus, you start with the very, very best in steak. And that's where it all starts. And then, of course, when it gets to the butcher, we've got to do our job. We have to make sure that we're aging this properly for that full 28 days. When we then, after aging, we take all the fat off of this. So you're not going to have any fat, not 1 ounce.
Super trim.
Super trim. 33 grams of protein in this steak. So you're really going to getting a steak.
How much protein did you
33
say?
grams.
33 grams per steak.
Per steak. So it's,
we're talking 33 grams per steak. I can eat my weight in this. This is right on my eating plan. So everybody is looking for the perfect steak, one that cooks quickly. If you forget to thaw, as I do many times, because if I remember, I put it in the freezer or in the fridge in the morning, out of the freezer into the fridge. And if you forget, put it in a bowl and run some cold water over it. Now, resist the temptation to run hot water over it, because that cooks it.
That's right.
You don't want to do that. And trust me, under a cold water, a stream of cold water, this will thaw in minutes.
That's right, about 10 minutes. And I actually just put it in a bowl under the spigot for about 5 to 10 minutes, and it becomes thawed. And the reason you want to get it thawed is you want to try to get your steak to room temperature when you cook it, because then you're going to get a nice even cooking through the steak.
And it's not shocked when it hits a hot pan, right?
So true.
Because if the meat is shocked, it closes up. What do we do when we're super cold and then we're all of a sudden warm?
Yes.
I mean, we're shivering and we're probably tight, right? The same is true of meat. So if it's super cold, even when it hits the heat, it draws up because it doesn't know how to react. This is why you want to let it come to room temperature. And you don't need to season it because the seasoning is already in it.
It's already seasoned. So once you've got it at room temperature, you can throw it in your cast iron skillet. You can throw it in your grill. You can throw it this time of year in your broiler, right? That's really something simple to do. And in literally 5 minutes on one side, flip it over, 5 minutes on the other side, so in 10 minutes you're going to have that perfect steak.
1,200 remain. This is going very quickly, and a lot of people are seeing a great, great steak, because remember, this is Black Angus marinated sirloin.
Yes.
You're talking about a really lovely steak and a big steak. These are 6 ounces. This is one steak. You get, they're individually packaged, and then the marinade is inside. This one has started to thaw a little bit, and you can see the marinade. Oh, yeah.
Look at that marinade.
So
yes.
good. And you want to snip the top of this with a scissor, and then just put this in a hot skillet. Let it come to room temp. And that way there's no shocking the meat, right?
Yes. So if you want to think about the flavor of this marinade, you all have bought our steaks before. You know that signature Rastelli seasoning? That's the flavor you're getting. We just turned that into a marinade and did all the work for you so that you get this with every bite. Remember,
if you're like me and you're out of the seasoning, because I'm a little heavy-handed with it, this is great because they're already pre-seasoned.
That's right, that's right. And again, sirloin's a nice lean steak, but that seasoning inside of there creates that tenderness, moisture, and look at that. Every single bite, David, as you said, is like butter.
It's like butter.
It's like butter.
Oh, my word. Everything's better. My shoes would taste good if I put them in butter. This is quite delicious, and it's a lovely steak. It's a big steak. So if you're looking to pick up the one-time only value price, you want to be on the line for it right now. And if it's in your shopping cart, check out right now so you make sure you get the price. This is $89.98, and there is no auto delivery on this.
No.
Mr.
Yes.
Rastelli. So we are excited about that. I'm very excited about short ribs.
Oh, something very special coming up.
I am ready to tear these up. Wreck 'em.